Hello, SoCal Hero Duelist. This is Justin coming at you with a 18th place deck profile at LA Regionals. And what's your name?
My name's Luke Monty.
All right, Luke. So how did you feel today?
I feel like I did really well. I've had 2 losses. One was because I misplayed in game 1, and then that would have just changed the whole turn of the match because game 2 could have gone either way, and then I still would have had game 3 to fall back on had that not gone through. And then I had a mirror where honestly I just bricked game 3. There's nothing I could have done about that.
All right. What was your toughest matchups?
I played against 4 Sky Strikers today, and I felt like all of them were rather difficult, with a couple exceptions. But the mirror matches were also really tough. I feel like probably the toughest match I had was probably the second to last Sky Striker I played.
All right. Well, let's get into the deck profile.
So I play 3 Debug and 3 Buffalo. Both of these are really good. I personally think Buffalo's way better than Lady Debug is, but both of them are really good starters. And opening both of them isn't that terrible because you can discard Debug off Buffalo. Buffalo gets effects easier if they end up getting Sense of the Grave off something like Rage or anything of the sort, and it lets you just get a free draw too while setting up your Gazelle.
So it didn't come pretty bricky, running 3-3?
I did have a game where I opened 3 Debug. I think I did lose that one, but it wasn't really because of that. I was able to play through it. I shuffled one of them back with Phantasme, and then the other one just ended up coming up again. But I don't think it was ever really that bad. I do typically side out 1-1, especially in like the Sky Striker matchup, because they can easily just shut down your normal summon. But aside from that, I think they worked great.
All right.
I play 3 Gazelle, standard. 3 Spinny. I play 2 Foxy. I don't think 3 is that necessary. You use it to, like, the Excavating effect I've used to clutch a few wins today. I top decked a Fusion of Fire off it, which secured me a win. I've hit Gazelle off it a few times, which sets up my main combos, but being able to pop your opponent's like multi-roll or maybe their Sanctuary is really huge.
That's good.
Standard 1 Jaguar, 1 Falco. I don't play Foul. I don't really see a real reason to. Locking down back row is fine and all, but I feel like I could just side into stuff for that anyway. Hand traps, I play 2 of everything. I play 2 Ash, 2 Ogre, 2 Veiler, and 2 Phantasme. The only thing I ever felt was a real problem was I feel like I was drawing Ogre in really awkward times, but I was kind of preparing for the Endymion matchup today because I was expecting like a lot of people to be using it. I ran into it twice, and I had Ogre just ready for it, but I think it was better than playing 3 Ash and 3 Veiler, because opening multiple Ash can sometimes be really bad. And then the double Phantasme, it was supposed to be 3, but I didn't end up getting a 3rd one. I thought my buddy was going to lend me one. But a huge shout out to Brian, by the way, for letting me use his Phantasmes, Ashes, and Ogres. Onto that, I play Scythe. Shout out to Junior for letting me use the Artifact Engine also. I don't play any others, I just use the 1 Scythe because I don't think it's too necessary. Even if you draw it, you can set it and then pop it with Rage in order to get the effect. 3 Circle.
Standard.
I don't really need to explain that. 3 Called by the Grave. I always want to side this card out, but I never feel like I can. Because in the mirror, it's huge, because if you can banish their Baelings, you can get a few easy destructions off. Against Sky Striker, you hit Ray, and like hand traps, you can typically play through like 1 hand trap, but if they have 2, that could be a problem. So Called by the Grave, one of them just makes it a lot easier. 1 Sanctuary, it's recyclable. 1 Will, this card only was in my hand 1 time the entire day. And all it did was made a bad hand slightly less bad. I think I ended up losing that one, but that was the only time I had Will in hand. It's not a bad card, I just don't think it came in that well today. Then 1 Fusion of Fire, this card is super clutch, it won me a bunch of games. Then the 3 Sanctum, again, shout out to Junior. Roar, Rage. I don't feel like it's necessary to play 2 Roar, you don't really need to hard draw it, it's easy to get off Gazelle. And then instead of a 3rd Phantasme, I threw in 1 Imperial Order. At the start of today, and I only had it in hand I think 1 time, and it was against Sky Striker, and it let me stall for a bunch of turns in order to just set up for the win. Onto extra, I play the standard 3 Baelinks, 3 Sunlight Wolf, 2 Heatleo, the 1 Hita. I never really got to abuse this properly today. I would sometimes just end up sitting on it and just waiting, hoping my opponent would destroy it just so I can switch a Gazelle for next turn. It's never really come up for its true purpose in my opinion. 1 Phoenix. Phoenix is just broken. Update Jammer. I never made this today. I was going to replace it with something else. I was thinking maybe going Shizuku, so I could go Hita, steal Kagari, make Shizuku, make Violet Chimera, And then since Shizuku makes their monster lose attack, Violet Chimera gets doubled. But I didn't have time to add it, and I didn't think it was that good of an idea. One transcode, so I do play the OTK. I just never really got to use it. I did misplay once, because I could have made transcode to summon back a Sunlight Wolf, fuse that into Violet Chimera, and then attack for game, but that was the game I lost against one of the Sky Strikers where I just ended up misplaying, and that cost me the first game, which cost me the match. One Borreload. I never made it, but it's still super necessary. I had times in which I really wanted to make it, I just couldn't get into it. And then one Mirage, it's recyclable, I don't see a reason to play more than one. And then Violet Chimera, which I don't need to explain. And then inside deck. So I'm gonna get to this card at the end. I sided into 2 Lancia, and in theory, I was supposed to use this against either Orcust or Thunder Dragon, but I saw Thunder Dragon in the first round, and I didn't see any of it for the rest of the game, or the rest of the day. So the theory was you summon this off Sanctum, and then you're just able to shut down an Orcust or a Thunder Dragon player's turn just right then and there. And then it's also still a hand trap, so it's good for that regard. But it just never ended up coming up. 3 Pancratops. I only really ever sided into 2. I felt like 3 was just going to be overkill every time, because I typically just sided it for either Striker or sometimes in the mirror. But it's a solid card. I always felt like I was just opening it with Phantasme, so I just always would have the same amount of monsters. 2 Dogoran. This card comes in huge. I never got to recycle it with Sunlight Wolf, which is the reason I did Dogoran instead of Gamma Seal. But I did Kaiju over a Endymion player. He had a Jackal, which was his only card with spell counter, so I Kaiju'd over it, bounced it back with Mirage, and then Kaiju'd over his other monster. So it's actually really huge just since Mirage can bounce it just in general. 1 Super Poly. This card honestly won me my final match. It was a mirror match, and it was honestly just one of us would make the fusion, and then the other one would fuse with it, and they'd lose, and I was able to do that twice. 3 MST. I took out Twin Twister last second, and I do feel like this actually helped me a lot more. I don't really think that discarding is that great. It does set up your Gazelle, but I just personally do think the 1-for-1 is better than just 2-for-2, especially since there's dangerous things you can hit. And there's really only a few critical cards you actually should be hitting. Like there can be only 1, multi-roll, stuff like that. And then 3 Evenlies, standard Field Breaker. First Sky Striker I played against, I had 1 in hand, and then I drew into the other one, so I was able to just play him out and then just out-resource him after that. And then the last card in my side deck was Salamangreat Paro. So if you don't know what this does, which I won't blame you, it has some effect in hand where if an attack is declared, you can summon it and make its attack equal to like a Link monster in your graveyard, something like that. That's not what you play it for. You play it so that when you're in time, you can summon it off Mirage Stalio, tribute it, and gain 2,000 life points. And that's how you just win in time. So if like the clock's running down, there's like a minute left and you're going into game 3, you go first, make Mirage, summon this, tribute, gain 2k, and you're up in life and the time gets called.
Have you won with that card?
This card won me 2 matches today.
Nice.
Which is 1 more than I thought it was going to help with.
All right. Is there anything you would switch out of your deck?
I didn't, like I said, I didn't really side into Lancia at all, so I'm thinking maybe I could swap that for something different, but I don't really have any theories on it at the time. I was considering playing Mole and or Foul in the main deck, but I feel like it worked really well today, so I don't know if I really needed to. Outside of that, I think everything's solid. Maybe swap the Imperial Order for another Phantasme.
Alrighty. Well, this is your guys' 18th place at LA Regionals, and SoCal Hero Duelist signing out.